The next guy up here is my brother in mustache, if you will. I can't decide whether or not he looks like one of the Mario brothers or like the building superintendent that keeps burying women down in the cellar. But you know him as Sports Director Rod Fitzwell!
Too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's gone to
How's everybody doing tonight? Give yourself a round of applause. I love it when the comedians come out and they say give yourselves a round of applause, or you're at a concert and like a Creed concert, Scott Stapp says, hey, give yourself a round of applause, everybody cheers, everybody goes for it. And really it's for the performer. They want to feel good about themselves. It's really not about you. But in this particular case, it's not about me, it's about you, because it is for the Christmas Wish Fund. So give yourself a round of applause! Thank you, it makes me feel good. I will tell you this much. The mustache, I actually was looking for a reason to grow a mustache that makes me look like a predator. And when, I think it was the traffic guy, Stephen Hill, who said, hey, I think it's Movember. And I said, what's that? And he said, it's anal cancer awareness, or prostate, or testicle, or boner, or something. Something down here for guys. And I said, what does that mean? And Rick says mustaches. I said, let's do it. Now, I got to tell you, my wife hates this thing. I was told last night I will not be allowed to attend my parent-teacher conference for the 4-year-old at preschool, but oh well. But I am going to do something tonight that I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to confess to something. I'm going to admit something. I'm going to admit to something that, honestly, how many people are parents in here? Parents? Okay. I'm going to admit to something parents know, but they don't ever want to say. It's a tidbit of information that I'm going to drop on you tonight. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to drop it like it's hot. Now, I'm going to drop it like it's heavy and it hurts and it's killed my arms and my fingers are now starting to cut. And it's too heavy. You're like, oh, that's not going to drop it. Here we go. It is great to see other people's kids behaving badly in public. Okay? It really is. Now, for those of you who don't have kids, you're probably thinking, oh, that's horrible, Rod. You're a terrible human being. You're not only creepy with that mustache, but you don't have a soul. How can you say something like that? You're wishing bad things on good people, but no, I am not. I am not, because, you see, I don't see what you think I see when I'm looking at somebody else's children behaving badly. I don't really pay attention to the kids. I look at the parent, and I see a poor, beaten down, kindred spirit that I can relate to. I see the shell of what used to be a life, a vibrant life, a beautiful, living and breathing organism that now has been reduced to fighting the same daily battle that I fight every single day. That's what I see. So it does something for me. It actually makes me feel as if I'm not alone. There's other people out there in misery too. And it keeps me from wanting to lock myself in the trunk of my Toyota Corolla, curl up in the fetal position and cry until I go mad. Because I know there's at least one more person out there that is also in misery. And as I look at these people, and I think of my two daughters, and to be honest with you, I love my two daughters. They're 7 and 4, they're beautiful, and they're great girls. And there's only one thing that they really do in public that drives me batty, and this happens if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. I'll roll up on a store, I got both of them with me, I'm by myself, and I'm my wife, so I don't have any backup. And I'll say to them before I go in, hey, Summer, Avery, listen, when you get in there, stay with Daddy, don't separate, please don't separate, stay with Daddy, don't touch anything, don't grab anything, if you break it, I bought it, I'm going to be mad. Don't do that. The second we get into wherever we're going, whether it's supermarket, adult novelty store, whatever, we walk in, boom, they separate. Because even at the ages of 7 and 4, they know for a fact that they have a 50-50 shot. One of them is going to get away and be able to touch a whole bunch of shit before I can get to him. So they know. So it's frustrating, but I will tell you that something happened last Friday night that made me feel really good. Because I saw these kids that were so fantastically horrible at Walgreens. There's 3 of them. And I was waiting in line to get a prescription for my daughter, and I was by myself, so I actually could devote my entire attention to the scenario. And Walgreens was slow that night. There's a long line. She's right in front of me, this woman. She's got 3 kids, 2 boys, a girl, I'd say between the ages of 3 and 8. And not only are they grabbing everything, picking up Band-Aid, shaving cream, one of them walked up with a drug testing kit. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And it's not that they're touching it and grabbing it, they're throwing it. I mean, it was great. And I'm watching this, and I felt so bad for this woman. And she keeps apologizing for stepping out of line to put stuff back. And I looked at her at one point. At one point, she looks back at me, and I could see it. She's like this close to Michael Douglas and falling down. I mean, she's about to lose it. And I know I better quickly identify myself because she needs me. And I look right at her. I said, ma'am? She goes, yes. I said, I'm a parent too. And all of a sudden, this calming influence came over her. And I've been in that position. And I got to tell you, when I have that kindred spirit, when I see that happening, it gives me strength to carry on. I hear songs in my head. I hear "Eye of the Tiger" by Survivor. I hear "Don't Stop Believing." I hear Wilson and Phillips, "Hold On." That's right. That's right. I know that there's pain, but if you break free from the chains and hold on. Yeah, I just quoted Wilson and Phillips. You know. And that night, as I stood there in Walgreens, as they were doing all of this stuff, and this poor lady could not control them, I could swear I could actually hear Wilson and Phillips coming from her head when I told her I was a parent too. I swear I heard it. But it only lasted for like a split second. A split second, because at that point in time, the most wonderfully horrible thing had happened. I mean, it was terrible. At Walgreens, they sell a number of things, and this thing is right next to the line for the prescriptions. Now, I don't know if you know what this is, but this is what, I know, you're right. Normally, they try to mask it. They try to make it actually look like a back massager, but not this time. Not this time. And the great thing about this particular thing is the label for this particular stress reducer has a beautiful hot chick right on there. She's gorgeous. And if you look at her, she looks like she's in her early 20s, ridiculously hot, in great shape. She doesn't know what stress is. And I can tell you by looking at her face, she doesn't have any kids. She looks happy. She don't need any stress reducer, but this little kid walks over to her, and I'm not kidding, walks up to her, turns it on, about this high, walks right there. It'll make you feel good. Mommy, it'll make you feel good. Kid's right. Mommy, it will make you feel good. And to his credit, he was trying to get it to her neck, because apparently she had indicated that she had a pain in her neck, and I'm sure she didn't really have a pain in the neck. I think it was her kids that were causing whatever the pain in the neck was. But nonetheless, this poor kid is standing there trying to help his mom. And every single person in the line in front of us and behind us and people walking around all of a sudden hear the vibrator. And they want to know, what little kid is holding that 2 inches from his mommy's crotch? Where's that kid? And the looks, and people started laughing. And I felt bad. I felt horrible, because I thought, oh my God, if I'm a kindred spirit, so I could immediately put myself in that position. I thought, if that's my wife, and I was with her, and it was happening to my wife, and I was with her, and I laughed, there'd be consequences. So I just kind of like froze. And I'm just standing there, because I don't know what to do. Everyone else is giggling. I mean, the pharmacist is like, what's going on? You know, hey, just give us the pills! She needs to leave! And this thing keeps vibrating. She's like trying to push the kid back. And she actually turns around to me, and I looked at her, and eventually she was able to pay and get out of there. I felt horrible for her, but I felt a little bit better about myself, because I know there's other people that struggle. So I saw it as I got my prescription, and I saw it there, and I was like, I gotta buy this and take this to the Funny Bone. I had something else I want to talk to you about, but I can tell you, this is fun. So I get home, my wife says, why are you at Walgreens so long? I'm like, it's Walgreens. The line was really long. I'm sorry, but I got this prescription for summer. And she was like, what is that? And I said, well, it's a stress reliever. So she goes, why do you have it? So I told her the whole story, and she goes, how much did that cost? I go, $14. She goes, $14? You paid $14 for that? Really? For the Funny Bone? I said, you're just going to use it once? And I said, yeah, well, I have the receipt, and I kept the label on it, and I can return it. So then she takes out my hand, and she's holding it, and she goes, well... Christmas is just around the corner, and it would be a great stocking stuffer. To which I said, you said stocking, not stockings, right? Thank you very much. Have a great night.